What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Unfiltered Truth. I'm your host, Phil Robinson. We're waiting on Jones to do his thing and get in. So while I see everybody filing in here, what's up, Brian, Rodriguez, Dave, what's good? Ray, what's happening? On T6, how am I doing today? I'm doing well. Got a lot to be happy and thankful for. We got free agency. The start of the NFL season officially kicked off today. So there's definitely a lot to get into. Maybe I am. Can everybody else hear me? Or is it just Brian? What up? Yeet yeet. What's up, EG? Okay, then I guess it's just Brian then. Because he said I was on mute and I was like, had me all tripping. No, Brian, I'm not on mute. Milkabeezy can hear me clearly. Oh, you shortened it up. What happened? I don't see the whole thing anymore. What happened? What happened? Bro, you're gonna have to get out of here with this fake name. I need to see the whole thing at all times. It was the best name in YouTube. Is it loud? I might need to back off it a little bit. I wasn't quite sure. Let's see. That better? I don't be cracking up in everybody's ears, having everybody look, how much shit hurts. Let's get all of these banners cracking. Everybody, once again, if you haven't heard, there's a dire affliction that affects 1 out of every 7 million of us. And it's called the ME breakdown, and in order to find a cure for that, we need you all to donate generously to the ME Foundation. You can make a charitable donation in the name of Phil Robinson. You can make a charitable donation in the name of the Unfiltered Truth, but all of you, we need to come together and donate graciously and generously to the ME Foundation. Jones, what's happening? Can we count on you for $5
to the ME Foundation?
Can we count on you for $5 to the ME Foundation?
No, it's the UME. UNME Foundation, all right? Got me fucked up that shit.
What is this in the picture behind me? It's my new background. I made that today. What's up, Robert Pena?
Lord.
You and them Foundation. Right on. See, my man is a generous contributor to the ME Foundation. Just keep it flowing and good things will happen.
God bless you, child.
God bless you, sir. One of these days we'll shoot you a link and you can get on here and you can rap with us and it'll be like old times.
Oh man, I mean, where you want to get started? Get started at how everybody's on panic, then hit the panic button so hard.
Whoa. Before we get started with all of that, we got something very, very important. Hold on. And we are back. Now, real quick before we get started, Phil, Ray McLean says Levi tweeted something big happening tomorrow, then deleted it. Well, as it happens, I happen to speak to Levi, and I happen to
I'm gonna get that man beat.
information from Levi. Now, I could tell we could really, really have some fun with this, but I'm not gonna play him like that. I'm gonna let him off easy. So you'll have to wait until tomorrow to see what Levi's big news is. Now,
Whoa.
March, what is the day? The 16th, 15th?
The
15th. 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, the start of the NFL 2023 season saw the Raiders sign Roderick Teamer. Now, color me surprised. Raise your hand if you had Roderick Teamer being the first official signee of the 2023 season. I'm not seeing very many hands in the comment section. I don't see you with yours up, and I certainly don't have up mine. It's been quite an interesting offseason, and it hasn't been what people have expected it to be. That doesn't necessarily mean it's been a bad thing, because I've been going back and looking at it, and some things just really strike out at me, and that is just this phenomenal amount of dead money, to the tune of $30 million worth of it. Corey Littleton is still almost getting $10 million. Said Darren Carter didn't want anybody to get or anything for him when he walked out the door, but he left us with $5.6 million in dead cap. Carl Nassib is still owed just under $5 million. Kenyon Drake is owed $4.4 million. And in an attempt to get rid of Alex Leatherwood, they took on the remaining $3.9 million in his contract. Darren Waller, to trade him, cost the Raiders $600,000. Tyree Gillespie still on there for $249,000, and then good old John Simpson rounds it out at $199,000. I just let you do it, KB. I just let you do it. He was deep in thought and concentration, and it was just hurting his soul so deeply to hear that all of these people are taking up $30 million of cap space that could have gone to Lamar Jackson. But instead, we are doing what we can to, in fact, clean up these books. Thank you, Dre. Your input is right on time and beautiful. Kevin has said the same thing. He's good with the direction Dave Ziegler is taking to clean up the books. And as I sat back and I thought about it, it really kind of made me think of back when Reggie McKenzie took the job and had contracts that were just so completely out of whack, dead money galore, no talent, all types of shit going on. And so it took some time to get that cleaned up and ready to be able to do something with until we got 2016. And I would imagine that as much as we don't want to hear it or say it or even think about it, that this is going to be a build-up year in terms of getting a whole bunch of guys in here, trying to get them coached up and get them taught in the correct way so that they can grow and become what they are going to become moving forward.
Apologies, Phil. I'm trying to get me some news as well.
I see.
And it's about to get crazy.
I would imagine that probably be something.
Um, some draft news.
He's
I
communicating
ain't
with the ancestors on the spiritual plane, right here in the middle of the unfiltered truth. That's how he gets. That's where all the sources come from. That's where they come from. But
Oh shit! Yeah. So I think we'll be able to grab our quarterback, Phil. It's a definite yes.
So let's expand on that. So we were at a point with Carolina where we were curious as to what it is that they were going to do, and curious as to what this QB market was going to look like, and who was going to be left over. And we're down to Houston needing a quarterback. Carolina picked up Andy Dalton today. And they still have Matt Corral on there. Now there was talk about trading him, but
Yes, that's
nobody
correct.
stepped
But
up.
I mean, he, like I said, Houston said, and I've heard it multiple times. I'm not listening to Mel Kiper Jr. I'm not listening to anybody else. But D'Amico Ryans literally came out and said, not once, not twice, but probably about 6 or 7 times, they want to go with Davis Mills, and they brought in Case Keenum to back him up. That's the second thing. 2, they've been quietly revamping their O-line. One of the things that he has made clear to everybody around the league that the Texans were in games, but your line is in shambles, and your defensive guys, I mean, the rankings today, they were hurting. They were hurting really bad. So they're upgrading their trenches, something that should have been done long ago. And I'm really leaning to what D'Amico Ryans is saying. You got to look. He's a rookie head coach. He's not going to go directly with a rookie quarterback.
Not only is he a rookie head coach, but he's a defensive coordinator, a defensive guy at heart. And for his first opportunity as a head coach, I have to believe that if I know anything about this league, that guys who go into coaching are do what's familiar to them and go with what's more comfortable to him. And in his first draft pick, second draft pick in the whole shebang, he's going to do what he knows best, and he's going to go out there and he's going to get the best defender out there on the draft available, because that's what's familiar to him. That's what's comfortable. That's what's comfortable to his nature. And he's going to have the best opportunity to select a defensive player out of everyone in the whole draft. Texans need more pieces, picks. Raiders have Renfro and additional picks to give. So, yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
And
I think in that situation with Hunter, I think they still hold on to him until they get something good that's going to be offered. I don't think they take anything lower than a third. I don't even think they're going to take a fourth. I think if you trade Hunter, you're either getting from 1 to 3.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're not going to go ahead.
That's all I can really say on that.
I would say the lowest they'll take is probably a 4, so that they'll have 2 picks in every round going up to 7. and at least 2 picks in every round, going up to 7. And with that, what I really think is going to end up happening is that they're going to. It's not so much as everybody is thinking about them trading down, but I think they're going to end up trading up and moving and potentially looking at moving probably back into that second and third rounds, and looking to hit on the guys that everybody is the free for all area, where all your meat and potatoes are going to be sitting pretty right in between 2, 3, 4, and pot half of 5.
Now the other thing is, I do expect the Raiders to make a few cuts that are on the team currently, and I'm going to say Brandon Bolden is one of the guys on the top of my list that's going to end up getting cut.
Yeah,
let's be real. You brought back Amir Abdullah. His production was pretty fucking. It was better than Bolden's. It was better in the screen game, receiving game, special teams. He's faster. Okay. Bolden looked like he had cement in his fucking shoes. So that's one guy. He's one that I look to see being cut.
No, for sure. That the running back room is an interesting conundrum. They brought in about 50 million running backs last year. Abdullah, Zamir White, Brandon Bolden, Sincere McCormick, Britton Brown. There was another one. Who's the other? I forgot his name, but they had a ton of running backs and nobody touched the football except for Josh Jacobs. That's a great problem to have. That's a great way to be with your star running back taking all the carries, but at the same time, we have to look at it and really question what our aim is. Is our aim to get Josh Jacobs to be the NFL leading rusher? I mean, for his career, that would be outstanding. But if he's going to be a factor in the postseason, he's going to have to lighten his load. And you've got to trust the guys behind him to be able to do something other than block and maybe catch an occasional pass coming out of the backfield.
Yeah.
And you can't trust Brandon Bolden to do that. He's almost like a largely improved and larger Jalen Richard. Except he's not as explosive in the passing game as Richard was, but every bit the blocker.
No, that's true. Okay.
Does JJ play under the tag? That's the plan. And to be honest with you, looking at the way that they've gone about restructuring the roster and the things that they've done, I firmly stand on my statement that the franchise tag is what's best for both parties in this particular situation. Because it's clear that the Raiders are not interested in overpaying anyone and keeping overpaid players on their roster as long as it takes to get rid of them. And so if he's not happy with the direction that they're going, and there very well could be some of that. I don't know. They spoke to him. They told him what the plan was. We'll see what ends up happening with everything moving forward, but he may want to go someplace else. And that would be perfectly okay because he's a running back and nobody wants to pay running backs as much as Christian McCaffrey made. What about Braxton Berrios as a possible replacement for Renfro if traded? I believe that's what they brought in Philip Dorsett for.
Yeah.
So we got Philip Dorsett. Yeah.
running a 4.33. He still has the speed. You can utilize him in the slants. And then there's still guys that are coming out in this draft. Jones from out of Purdue. He's a bigger and faster Hunter Renfrow. So, I mean, you can still upgrade. I don't see any problem here.
We love our Hunter Renfrow. We absolutely do, and you'll get no Hunter Renfrow slander from me. But I will say that if you look in this draft, and if you've looked at any of these past drafts in the last few years, slot receivers are a dime a dozen. Yes, Hunter Renfrow's route running is sharper, and it made him better. And for that, I'm 100. I would never say anything bad about him. But if you need a receiver roughly about 5'11", 180 to 200 pounds, that's running anywhere from 4.6 or faster, you can find them through the first round all the way to undrafted.
Mm-hmm. Oh wait, hold on. I thought he did something.
Jason Marshall's got Jakob Johnson is a low-key great re-signing, more leverage, keeping Jacob satisfied. That man had one job, and he did his job well, and that was to turn his big, huge body into a battering ram and to continue to pound down linebackers and safeties, whoever got in front of him, to open up the hole, and he did it time after time after time. It didn't cost him a lot of money. And that's really the one thing that you can say about all of these signings that they've made thus far, is that it really hasn't cost them a whole lot of money. They've been all bargain bin shopping signings, basically paying a little bit for guys who still have upsides left, and not going out here and trying to reset the market and spend everything that they have remaining. They have 55 men on the roster with the 11 guys that they've re-signed and signed. They've got also, $26.6 million of remaining cap space, and the rookie pool is going to take up 15 of it. So they're not quite out of cap space, but in order to continue to make signings, they're going to have to make some things happen. Maybe combine some of those draft picks, like I said earlier, to move up and turn it into a better player a better player and less of a salary cap hit, so that you can get some more on the back end. What's up, Menace?
So let me ask you this: would you take a crack at Shelby Harris right now?
Yes. How much does he want? Because you're going to have to pay Shelby Harris double digits. Now, it's not going to be 20, but it's going to be in the neighborhood of 10.
Let me reach out to Ryan.
I would. Now they brought back Teamer, and I'm still curious to see where Darius Philon is in his rehab. I would definitely love to be able to see if he would be able to come back out and do what he did before he got hurt, or do anything close to that. Because as a disruptor and a penetrator, and a pass rusher, he was everything that was missed from this team last season, and wouldn't cost them very much more than the veteran minimum.
You know what? No, you can keep going. I'm listening.
What does Solomon Thomas got $4 million for the Jets? Yeah, well, there's another guy that they probably should have paid. He did well while he was here. $4 million is a nice little price point for him. They get good production. He gets his money. Everything works out. What does the signing of Reed mean for our safety room? I didn't see that one. What read is he talking about, Jones?
Hold on,
Are you talking about Epps? Yeah, what are you talking about?
You talking about Epps?
Yeah, you talking about Epps? Epps is the guy that they were supposed to get when they drafted Jonathan Abram. So he's a box safety, a box defender, phenomenal against the run and run support. I'm not going to say limited, but they don't ask him to cover away from the off the ball if they can avoid it. So what he does well, he does incredibly well. And it can be schemed into the defense, and you can probably use them to take the heads off tight ends and other crossing routes who are coming across the middle and being unsuspecting. And it will currently allow the safety that they have, which is Trayvon Moehrig. Now, how much longer that is, I don't know. That remains to be seen. But to go back to being a free safety and to roaming the range instead of trying to have him come and get caught up in the box where he was just too small to really hang out there. Now, one of my not so under the radar hopes is that they draft Daniel Scott out of California. I've watched that guy grow up. I saw him when he redshirted when he was with the Takers, and he's just continued to get better every year. And he was around the football as a youngster, and even in the Senior Bowl, you saw him get his hands on the football. He does it every game. He's always around. He's ball hawk, good size, good speed. Not a lot of people are talking about him, but I could tell that dude's a baller. Epps and Teamer are hitters, bro. You got to have them. It's not enough for you to have guys that can cover. You got to be able to hit them. For Shelby,
Yeah, for Shelby.
That's about what I thought it was. I take that. I do that.
So about at least from the range of $7.5 million. So I go for that.
Yeah, Teamer is just that, Ben. He's a teamer. That's what he's on the team for. Javon Kinlaw, we're trading for. I wouldn't. Somebody else.
I trade for him.
What are they going to get?
Still
what
young.
Are they going to ask for him? He's talking about injury histories.
You got rotations nowadays.
They had one too.
Yeah, you see he was at the bottom of the list.
What is the plan at linebacker? Yeah, he couldn't even get no burn on that. What is the plan at linebacker now that Denzel is on a visit to Houston?
I mean, you want me to just hit on it with Denzel? Please. I mean, shit, Denzel thought he could get more money. Denzel's not going to get more money with us, and you can't give me a full 17 games this year. You were out. You were missing. We needed. I'm going to tell you this, to be honest, as much as people say certain things about Denzel Perryman, the games that you needed him available, could have been a difference maker. Mm-hmm. Just by this amount. Not having him, and I think he missed probably about 4 or 5 games this year. That ain't cutting it. You looking for about what? I don't know. You looking about for $9.5 million at linebacker? Come on, man. No. 9.5? Nah. Where, to be honest, you should be looking at about. I think if the Raiders were looking to try to get a deal with him, they were looking at keeping it at about 6. Probably about 5.5 or 6 mil.
I got him at 5, maybe 6 with incentives.
Yeah.
roster bone. He'd get the 6 with roster bonuses and guarantees per game. That would be how.
If you really look at the contract that the last few guys that just brought in, if you really look at it, the contracts are cheap. Everybody saying, "Oh, we gave him $33 million." No, he's only getting. Jacoby Myers only getting about what, $7.5 million?
Yep.
Shit.
Thank you, Rich. We appreciate you graciously donating to the You and Me Foundation. We definitely need to get these likes up, nation. Tell a friend, get these subscriptions up as well, so that YouTube will continue to distribute and use the algorithm to spread the unfiltered truth to everyone.
So you look at the Raiders right now, and everybody's talking about linebackers. You can get Bud Dupree, Leonard Floyd, Deion Jones is available, Devin Bush, and as I said it last night too, guys like Anthony Walker. You going and look at was it Damian Wilson? He was another one. Malik Reed. You could bring in Kyle Van Noy unless he got re-signed, but I can continue to go down the list. You can get Neville. If you want to, you can bring in Anthony Barr. There's going to be guys that you still can bring in. Quan Alexander.
That'd be better.
Get him on a 1-year deal. Shit.
He's probably going to Houston or some on some cheapo. But
who? Quan Alexander?
Yeah.
No.
Familiarity there. Pedro, is there any chance we reunite with Nicholas Morrow? He's a free agent. There absolutely is. Now, Matt got restructured his deal, so he's not going to become available unless they cut him.
I want to see something. I want to go.
Sheldon Rankin signed with the Cowboys, didn't he? And I believe Houston. And Omen Yada.
Yeah. David Onyemata. I wanted him. The guys at the top of my list. Falcons took him. Falcons gobbled up most of the Saints' defensive players.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't know. Maybe some guys got in this island in the front office and just said, "Fuck this shit." Maybe they realized who their quarterback was.
Tomlinson went to Carolina, didn't he?
Say that again.
Where did Dalvin Tomlinson go?
Oh, he went to Cleveland.
Cleveland, excuse me. Yeah. Cleveland's been signing a lot of people too. They've also been
Booty Warrior. Booty Warrior went on and restructured his contract.
Which is a large problem of why nobody wanted to give Lamar all that money, because he was going to end up having to restructure it.
Correct.
The very next year, immediately. BF Boyd, what's up, Phil? Marcus Peters, Calais Campbell. Right now, Marcus Peters is going to be asked out in terms of price, unless he wants to come and play for significantly less than what he's worth. And I would almost venture to say the same thing about Calais Campbell, unless there's a massive freeance of cap space, it's not in the cards. You're looking at probably more low budget signings, and they take what they can in the draft and cut people moving forward, and do that mixed match of cut a guy, sign a guy, cut a guy. That's what you're going to be looking at probably from here on through the rest of the year.
I am not big on the Jadeveon Clowney, who struggles to get a sack.
Jadeveon Clowney. If only he had the end, he would have made an absolute killing if they had the NIL after his sophomore season. He has made more money off that one hit that I have ever seen in my life because his play on the field has done nothing but decline ever since that moment. And I like him. But when you saw that play that he made, that was the best play of his career. And that was, it's been pretty much it. He's never hit double digits in sacks, and he's struggling to do what he's struggling to get 5 now.
Shit.
No, Omen Yada. That must be somebody else. If you're talking about a dude from the Saints, he signed with the Falcons. Harris, Brockers, and Jefferson are available. Jefferson just got available. Those would all be with the exception of Shelby. I would say the other two are probably going to be lower price options. Now, would you like to take this one, Phil, or should I?
I like that y'all tell the truth. You think we're going to get Jalen Carter pick? I mean, to be honest, he still hasn't warrant. I mean, he's turned himself into Atlanta. He still has a trial coming up. With the way things are set up in Georgia, because they had him listed down as matter of fact, I'll pull the shit up. Right? 1 second. I think I got it. I'd rather pull it up and just explain the details correctly. It's gonna do that.
While he's pulling that up, I'll say this. Jalen Carter has shown a continued lack of maturity, an inability to make good decisions. He's had numerous opportunities where people have done him a solid and covered things up, and still went out there with the same energy and the same, and continue to do the same things over and over again. You start talking about all the pregame fights and walking through drills and the unnecessary stuff. Listen, kids are gonna be kids. I understand it. You got to be a certain type of dude to be as good as he is in the trenches at the defensive line position. But this is the National Football League, and you're not gonna get away with bully ball. He ain't that big. He's not big enough to just be pure bully ball in the NFL. So he has skill. So he can be great. He can be good. He's got to get his conditioning back under control, because from what we've heard about his pro day experience, which was a very bad one, he couldn't even finish out his drills. Now, this young man has got a ton of stuff on his plate, and things have gotten very sideways for him, and he was so close to fulfilling his entire life's dream, and it is literally about to slip through his fingers. At least millions of dollars.
I got it right here. Okay, so because they were street racing, and the cause of it was 2 other people's deaths, charges would range from Class A misdemeanor for a first offense with no injuries to a second-degree felony. If there were severe injuries. Now, if it was involved death, and it was aggressive driving, more reckless, he's looking at significant jail time. And the way Georgia's the district attorney's office has been handling a lot of cases lately. I mean, you look at the racketeering shit, these motherfuckers looking at life. You looking at with the whole voting thing, they said we don't give a fuck what anybody feels like. We're about to get your ass charged up. And then now you have body cam footage of him being pulled over a handful of times before then, and he was speeding in that same vehicle through a residential or through or near a school zone. I mean, let's be real here. Raider fans, you think we want to deal with another speed? I'm just going to be real.
A serial speeder, and that he could be dealing with that because we don't know what's on that man's mind. But regardless of that shows, like you said, like I said earlier, it shows a continued lack of maturity and ability to make good decisions and learn in situations where you should be learning from. And I saw somebody put up, he's another Albert Hainsworth. Albert Hainsworth was able to come in and give you some production on the current trajectory that Jalen Carter is on. He looks like he got bus written all over him.
I'll put it like this shit with Carter and that whole speeding shit. Let's be real here. After you, and it's crazy, in the second area, a grandmother got killed back in December because they was speeding through there. The grandkids were safe, but the grandmother didn't make it because she got hit off the impact. Come on, man. I'm sorry. People can try to like just smooth it under the bus, like, oh, I mean, they just kids. Bull fucking shit. We got to stop making these fucking excuses. So, real talk. That's a red flag for me. When you driving 85 miles per hour in a school zone, Kev, in a fucking school zone. Imagine your kids walking in that school zone and he driving reckless like that. How the fuck you gonna feel? I'm gonna be real blunt right now. That's no fucking excuse. This man is speeding through a residential. You literally just had somebody's grandmother just trying to go home and get fucking killed. That's no excuse at all, bruh.
So the GTA dummies are over here ripping through the city streets. It used to be people used to exhibit common sense. If you want to speed or drive recklessly, you did it on the freeway.
Bro, not even that. Like, because of her death, that's why
they cracked down.
The charges increased. Because of that shit, the charges increased for street racing. That's what I'm saying. Ain't that it? I got a racetrack out over in about 15, 20 minutes away from us. They say, yeah, sure. Take it on out. I take the fucking take the Durango out, take the Charger out, shit. But I mean, to be honest, a lot of these guys, they need to understand this ain't fucking GTA. And that's how they acting like.
Yeah. That shit is crazy, bro. You 80 in a school zone? What the fuck are you doing driving that fast with people around?
I don't get it, bro.
That's ignorant. I mean, that's ignorant. If you want to drive fast, I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm a speed demon. Okay, I love speed, but I'm not gonna go charging, hauling ass 80 miles an hour through a school zone. That's just stupid. Now on to this. What's the real reason Waller got traded? No, it ain't got nothing to do with his wedding. He got traded because he was not hurt. I'll say it. Said he was out posting workout videos while he was supposed to be too hurt to go be able to play, not practicing.
It wasn't that. It wasn't just that.
Not showing up at the game.
It was the fact that this motherfucker, when he said he was injured that day, he did a music video. That was one of the reasons why. You heard rumors of McDaniels fucking monitoring what these motherfuckers were doing and shit. This man blatantly called and said, "I'm not gonna be here. I'm not feeling. My groin's bothering me. I'm not gonna be able to run today." Y'all saw that fucking that first music video that dropped? That motherfucker was moving them legs and kicking them out like it was nothing.
There seemed to be a lot of that.
Bruh.
Just cashed out, gave him all that money.
No, he cashed out on shit. That was the thing about it.
They gave him the contract and he never saw that money.
That's the funny thing about it. He never saw the fucking money. Yeah, who plans their wedding on the same weekend, bro? That was some weird shit, bro.
That was not well thought out at all, especially if
you know what the crazy thing about it, bro?
What's that?
All the teammates on offense and defense.
I went to Max's party.
Yep.
It's whatever. None of my business. Who they got married. That was their special day. Whatever.
All right, best of luck.
Peace out. Enjoy New York, my man. Hopefully you can stay healthy and make a difference. A random wedding day. Well, you know that's what it is.
No, I ain't even restructured to go to the Giants. It's just all that money going to the Giants.
Yeah,
he didn't see that money with the Raiders. That's what I'm saying.
$600K. They got out of that entire extension, and it only cost them $600K. That's pocket change to them.
Shit, pocket change.
Hey, I tell you what, I would love to see him take his flow to one of them underground rap battles out there in New York. I'd pay money to see that.
Oh, I hope you stay away from 125th Street. I really want to play it, but I don't need faith. I don't need YouTube flagging us.
No, you don't, and you really don't. And so let's keep it going. And
I blame KB.
You know.
What? What's wrong?
Monterey kept. No, we were just talking about Waller. But keeping it going, moving on. We also re-signed Jerry Tillery. Jerry Tillery came in and had some production in the and pocket collapse.
No, he don't do no stupid shit.
and slapping the ball out of the quarterback's hands after the play and costing the team 15 yards when they had them kid down to a 3 and out, which honestly I don't. But hey, fuck it, why not? You turned around and you gave Jacoby Myers all that goddamn money. And anytime I say Jacoby Myers' name, all I can think about is the fumble recovery for a touchdown for Chandler Jones. That man spinning around, letting Jesus take the wheel, throwing the ball up. and he is solely responsible for Mac Jones completely getting mushed, embarrassed, disrespected, and his whole life proven to not be shit, all in one stiff arm.
What quarterback do we draft? Plan for the O-line.
Orlando Brown, 4 years, $64 million to the Bengals. Congratulations, Cincinnati. It is now your turn to find out that big motherfucker cannot block.
Yeah.
I love Joe Burrow, and I know they're trying to help him out, but enjoy.
Hey, no, hold on. How many motherfucking O-linemen fucking Bengals got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They got about what? They got about 18?
9, 10, 20. Shit, none of them can play.
They got 9 tackles. They got 6 guards.
17 centers.
And they got 4 centers. And them motherfuckers can't stay healthy to save their fucking lives.
Yeah, and the ones that can't stay healthy can't block.
If I throw a fucking ice cube on that field, somebody's tearing their ACL on that fucking O-line. I'd be like, fuck this shit. If I'm on edge rush, I'm like, I ain't gonna have to go one-on-one with your ass.
I'm not getting out of my stance. You're gonna take a quick step back and crumple. I'm just gonna walk around you. Tillery is a good piece. Just get some rookies around him. Good. That's up for debate. He's serviceable. Bet he's good. He's good at what he does. Yeah. Jonah Williams gonna move to guard for sure. Hey, that's between them and God. I don't need to worry about that. Oh, what else we got? Moving up. Oh, we were still. I never did answer that. The quarterback question. So the quarterback question is an interesting question because that comes down largely to who's going to be available at the draft picks and the way that everything has shaped up and the way that things have transpired up to this point. There's not a lot of teams that need quarterbacks anymore. There's not a lot of teams who would be willing to trade heaven and earth to get up to draft one of these quarterbacks. There's too many other needs, and drafting a rookie quarterback is risky. It's a lot of talking to say that the Raiders could be in a lot better position at 7 than people think they are.
So even when my original response was after that trade, Raiders should move up to 3. The way shit has been looking the past couple weeks, past 48 hours, you're better staying put, and your quarterbacks are going to be there. The problem is, you look at Carolina. Carolina screwed the fucking pooch. I mean, like,
yep,
they fucked themselves raw in the ass. It's bad. They said, "Oh God, we made a mistake."
Mm-hmm.
They were so. I put it like this: they swore they knew what everybody wanted to fucking draft and shit. And now, granted, the Raiders like, we can make this pull. Chicago saying that, hey, we're not asking for that much. And I think probably what would have happened. I have a feeling that instead of Chicago with DJ Moore, they would have had Renfro. I think that was the team we were looking to trade Hunter Renfro to.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, when you look at the whole Panthers did what they did, Panthers like, shit, we didn't need this. Let's trade the fuck out of this now. And now they're trying to get rid of it. Their whole thing was we either go defense or, we go on and get Mayo Coffee at quarterback. The other thing was, they didn't offer Waller.
They did for one.
Yeah, for one. That was with the Saints. But when you look at number 2, you look at the Texans. Texans, they didn't went and signed fucking quarterback. They've been talking about surrounding around Davis Mills. I mean, let's be real. Davis Mills was that bad. How the fuck is he still throwing 300 yards a game?
With nobody.
If you're a shitty quarterback, you ain't throwing no 300 yards. Answer that question, yes or no. If you're a shitty-ass quarterback, you honestly think that guy's going to be able to throw 300 yards?
No.
And what I was going back and looking literally down at my damn phone for like the last, 20, I told you earlier, then I went back and tried to get more details.
Mm-hmm.
The Colts are saying they're not impressed with their draft. They don't want any of these quarterbacks in this draft class that high. Now, what would end up surprising everybody? The Colts will most likely end up taking Stetson Bennett. They'll wait later round and take Stetson Bennett.
And now it's funny that you bring up that name because nobody was talking about Stetson Bennett until the combine. And then somebody came out of nowhere and was saying that Stetson Bennett is out there putting on a show. Stetson Bennett is out here showing up everybody's favorite hyped up, overhyped QBs. Stetson Bennett is out here shining in this B group and should have been in the A group. And then you look at Stetson Bennett's resume. Stetson Bennett is a 2-time national champion. Back-to-back national champion. MVP in both national championship games. Best player on the field, Stetson Bennett. Nobody else had that. But who's the guy out there tearing shit up, making it happen? Stetson Bennett. Jimmy didn't take any other offers, and the Raiders were never going to give the Packers anything for Green Bay. Houston was actually the spot that I had for Jimmy because I fully expected Houston to overpay him and give him $34 to $40 million somewhere in that time, in that range. Yeah, that was me, wasn't it?
What?
No, they were asking about who said something about Stetson Bennett.
Oh, yeah. And then you already know at number 3.
He's like 26 playing against 19, 21-year-olds. He's on the field.
Yeah.
He's on the field. What do you want me to do? What else am I supposed to use to compare him to?
It's like the 30-year-old man that's playing dodgeball against fucking 16-year-olds and dogging the shit out.
Disadvantage.
But then you look at the number 3 overall pick. They're going. They gotta really revamp their defense right now. So to be honest, that could be a line. That could be a rusher. It could end up being maybe they say they want to take Jalen Carter. And then you go what number 4? That was the Colts.
It's the Colts. They go defense or they do something else. Because like you said, they got a quarterback, or they get their quarterback later. The defender at that stage, your defender.
I mean, look at it. They traded away Stephon Gilmore. Don't really have any corners. So who's your tall, lanky corner that is considered to be going in the top 10? That's Gonzalez.
Illinois. You also have
that.
So what they take Gonzalez
they're gonna go Gonzalez from
Oregon over to Big Ten over old boy from Illinois, Witherspoon.
They need a tall, lanky ass corner that can recover in speed, that can be physical. So
aren't they both 6'2"?
Witherspoon is about 6'1".
Yeah, they're both roughly the same size. Witherspoon got a bum hammy. Pimpin' is hurt. You hurt, Pimpin'?
I'm trying to think. Who's at what? Falcons are at 5, right? Or no, they're at 6.
Detroit's at 6, I believe.
Yeah, Detroit.
Falcons were 8, 9, were after the Raiders. The draft is going to fall in our lap. It certainly could. Now this was the question. Your top defensive prospect and top QB prospects are there at 7. Who do you take? The quarterback.
Yeah, Falcons. Yeah, they're behind us. So it's Seattle and Detroit. So Seattle at 5 and Detroit at 6.
They could possibly be looking.
They might. You know what? They could just say fucking go corner as well.
They don't have that match though for their particular style. Not that early. Witherspoon.
They need more help on that interior. It's more. And the secondary was all right. They need more help on that interior D line.
And they got to replace. Well, they would be the ones to take Carter. So Pete and John don't have no problem with character issues.
Arizona probably get the jump on them.
On Jalen?
Yeah.
And that's if Houston doesn't take Anderson.
Yeah, I forgot Will Anderson too.
To
be honest, I don't know. I see Will Anderson, and then you go on and get your quarterback, another wide receiver. They probably go Addison. Shit.
Yeah.
Everybody is overreacting on the D tackle that's running that fast. I mean, don't get me wrong, he run fast. Everybody trying to look for the next Aaron Donald. He ain't going that high.
One player you don't want us to draft, Jones.
Oof. Besides Mayo Coffee.
Mayonnaise, mayonnaise.
Cause shit, you know, it can be best available player too with it.
No, it said what player don't you want to draft?
That I don't want to draft. Mm-hmm. There you go. Kenneth already said it. Hallelujah. Great minds think alike. I can't do that shit no more, bro. 9 years, that motherfucking he burned the bridges for the quarterbacks, bro.
Gonzalez, Weatherspoon, Deontay Banks, Joey Porter, Emmanuel Forbes, and Cam Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go. If that's the way the top 5 goes, then we should be having a phenomenal opportunity to pick exactly who we wanted 7.
And somebody said Aaron Carter earlier from Army.
Andre Carter,
yeah. Fat motherfucker. Whoo! Whoo! Shit. That's an edge rusher. Should be available right in the.
Joey Porter is underrated. There's plenty of defenders that if you're not looking for a quarterback, they're there to be had.
Yeah.
Plenty of them. What would we have to trade to get another first this year to get a QB and a corner? Second and probably second, another first next year, and potentially one of those third, fourth, fifth, one of those third, fourth, or fifth picks. It would be easy. It would be easier to trade. To stay where they're at, draft a quarterback at 7, and then trade back up somewhere into the mid to mid 20s and get your guy there. But even still, you should be able to get one of the top corners in the second round at 7 if that's what you choose to do, or one of the edge defensive tackle combos. Jesper Horsted, fool. You about to see the rise of the white tight end. There's a lot of tight ends that they like in this draft. It's a deep class. There's a bunch of guys, and you got to remember the best thing about the best player is the one that's available. And when you miss 14 games and 17 games in 2 years? Or 14 in 2 years. That's not a lot of availability.
Yeah.
Not trading down. Everybody keeps talking about trading down. I don't want to trade down. I want to trade up. I want to see them want a guy so badly that they're ready to move up and go get him. And not wait and not say, you know what? Oh, shucks, we almost had him, or they took our guy, the pick before us, and so now we don't know what the fuck to do. We're scrambling, and the next thing you know, we're drafting another Damon Arnett.
Yeah, that was the only thing about Musgrave. He did miss games, but whew.
And Kenneth Berry is on the Nolan Smith train ever since he's seen that 4.39. That's all I've heard come out of his mouth has been a steady, healthy helping of Nolan Smith. You've got it on here, and you didn't even have to pay. So now stop putting that in my chat room before you end up in the shadow realm. Need a Seattle Seahawks Legion of Boom draft? No, you need a Raiders Black Cloud draft. That's what the fuck you need. You need to be able to start your own shit and rock with it. You got 12 draft picks in this draft. 12 of them. Even if you only hit on half of them, you still got 6 premium players. Well, this drafting and so it's the only way.
Getting up Tyree Wilson.
He got foot problems, dude.
You're still good taking.
bruh, you can big
I
guys
didn't
and foot
say
problems.
us. I didn't
Yeah.
say us, sir.
That whoever it is can have them. Big guys and foot problems is not good.
I mean, it's an edge rusher, so I mean,
For,
be all right.
because edge rushers
Just
have
put some
never
water.
needed
Put
their
some. Put
feet to
some
be
water.
clean.
On. Be all right.
Rub a little dirt on it, because turf toes never stopped an edge rusher before. Oh, but we're an hour and 10 in. Oh, yeah, excuse me. How could I have forgotten? Hour and 10 in, and we have managed to systematically avoid the most important acquisition on the football team, which is one James porn star fucking Garoppolo.
Jimmy below.
So to this, I'll say that Jimmy G, for all intents and purposes, looked like he begged to come out to Las Vegas. He signed a contract that was completely unbecoming to him, that he could have easily gotten at least double to triple the amount that they paid him up front and per year as a salary. He chose not to explore any other options, and soon as free agency or tampering was it was time to go, he was on the phone with the Raiders making it happen. The big thing here is time to release. From time to snap, it was told to me that Carr's average time was 2.93 seconds. And in time to snap, Jimmy executes at about 2.66 seconds, and that being throwing windows. I correctly identifying the defense, scanning the whole field, making a quick decision, and getting the ball out, which is supposed to be the staple of this offense. Yes, dink, dunk, we all hate it, but it goes straight down the field. They score, ball control. Too many good things happen in that style of offense when it's executed in the correct timing. And which is why that Jimmy G is coming in here to work at a very manageable contract, very specifically incentivized to pay him $25 million instead of 30 plus. And we're coming with the jokes. Said Jimmy G, he's known to stand strong in the hole.
Hey,
The
what can I
women
say?
love Jimmy's release game. They say Jimmy stays in the pocket. Jimmy the love below Garoppolo.
Or they call him Jimmy VD.
Said Jimmy fucking G. Well, we wanted to see what it was going to look like. Jimmy G is largely recognized as not the permanent solution. Is you're going to be your gap / bridge quarterback who will help educate the young guy that comes in. God bless us all. Hopefully, it's not Jake Hayner. It was hard enough for me to hear it was Jimmy G coming in, but Jimmy G and Jake Hayner might make me want to start sucking exhaust fumes. But to say the least, I am curious. Listen, bro, it is what it is. I at this point I want to see what's going to happen. Like I said, when you look at the draft, it's easy. Everybody has a bunch of ideas about who's going to get drafted up until the time you hit free agency and you see what the team's plan is, which forces you to readjust. We now know what our true areas of our true holes are on this football team, and how many picks you have and who's going to be where to make it happen, and more importantly what other teams have done, so you can kind of get a feel for where it is that they're most likely going to be going as well. And lately, you've seen a lot of teams choose to circle their own wagons and not necessarily go with any of the top quarterbacks and rock with veterans. And you're going to see that happen again this year. Got any news to add before we get out of here, Jones?
No, for right now. I know I'll be waking up in the middle of the fucking night and getting something.
Well, then that'll just be perfect for tomorrow's show. Yes, that's right. You're getting back-to-back shows, Wednesday and Thursday. Tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. We will be having Scott Gulbranson of Silver and Black Today on the show. Welcome him to the show for the first time. And so we'll be able to get into day 2, not day 3, not day 4, day 2 of the official free agency and go from there. So everybody, thank you for tuning in. Thank you to the 60 people who've been in here viewing it and all of you who'll be watching on replay. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Help us get the algorithm up so that we can continue to spread the unfiltered truth and give everybody that unfiltered salute. I'm Phil. He's Jones. We're out.
Set your face on fire. Let's get high.